All right, folks, grab a coffee and settle in for a tale of sweet, sweet revenge. I'm Dr. Lena Carter, a pharmaceutical researcher, and this is how I turned a smug CEO's power trip into his worst nightmare. Picture me, the brains behind a blockbuster drug, getting fired by a guy who thought he could erase my legacy. Spoiler, he missed one tiny detail that flipped the script. This isn't just petty, it's pro-level payback with a side of karma. I'd spent 12 years at Biovance, a mid-sized pharma company in Boston. My baby was Lumora, a groundbreaking drug for chronic migraines. It took years of late nights, failed trials, and caffeine overdoses. But Lumora became Biovance's cash cow, raking in $2 billion annually. I wasn't just a researcher. I was the lead scientist, with my name on the patents. The team loved me, and our old CEO, Dr. Patel, called me the company's secret weapon. Enter Greg Vaughn, the new CEO. Greg was a Wall Street bro with a shiny MBA and zero science chops. He swaggered in last year, all about disrupting the culture. His big plan? Fire legacy employees to cut costs and boost stock prices. I was his first target. Why? I overheard him tell his CFO I was too expensive at my $200,000 salary and not a team player because I pushed back on his dumb idea to rush an untested drug. One Monday, Greg called me into his glass office, smirked, and said, "Lena, we're letting you go. Lumora's great, but we don't need you anymore." No severance, no thank you, just a security guard to escort me out. My colleagues were stunned, but Greg had the board's backing. I was humiliated, jobless, and staring at a mountain of student loans. But I wasn't done. Oh no, Greg forgot to check one little thing, the fine print on Lumora's patent. While cleaning out my home office, I dug up my original Lumora patent files. Here's the kicker. When I joined Biovance, I was a broke postdoc, and their contract was shady. It gave them rights to my research, but only for work done on company time. Lumora's core formula? I'd sketched it out at 2 a.m. in my apartment, on my own laptop, before I even signed with Biovance. The patent was filed under my name first, with Biovance as a co-owner. But I'd never transferred full rights. Greg, in his rush to fire me, hadn't audited the IP rookie mistake. I called my old college buddy, Sarah, now a hotshot IP lawyer. She cackled when I explained. "Lena, you own the golden goose." We confirmed the patent status. Biovance needed my approval to keep producing Lumora. Without it, their bestseller was dead in the water. I had leverage, and I was about to use it like a sledgehammer. I didn't want to just sue. That's boring. I wanted Greg to feel his mistake. Sarah and I drafted a cease and desist letter, politely informing Biovance that I was revoking their Lumora license unless they met my terms. $5 million in back royalties, a public apology, and Greg's resignation. We sent it to the board, not Greg, with a 30-day deadline. Then I leaked a vague tip to a pharma industry blog. Biovance's star drug in IP trouble. The stock dipped 10% overnight. Greg was sweating. To twist the knife, I reached out to Medicor, Biovance's biggest rival. I offered them a peek at Lumora's patent for a potential partnership. Medicor's CEO flew me out to their HQ, wined and dined me, and hinted at a $10 million licensing deal if I pulled the plug on Biovance. I kept it hush-hush, but made sure Greg heard whispers through industry gossip. Panic mode activated. On day 29, the board called an emergency meeting and invited me to discuss. Greg was there, red-faced, trying to spin it as a misunderstanding. I walked in with Sarah, dropped a folder of patent documents, and laid it out. Lumora's mine. Pay up or I license it to Medicor. The board turned on Greg like piranhas. They'd lost $500 million in market value, and shareholders were screaming. One director yelled, "You fired the woman who owns our drug." Greg stammered, "She's bluffing." Sarah slid over the cease and desist, and he shut up. The board caved. I got $6 million. They threw in an extra million to avoid a lawsuit. A press release praising my pioneering work and Greg's termination. Best part? The release quoted me. "I'm thrilled to move forward, unlike some former executives who overlooked key details." I used the payout to start my own biotech startup, focusing on neurological drugs. Medicor partnered with me, and we're developing Lumora 2.0. Greg? He's consulting for some sketchy startup, and industry folks call him Patent Guy behind his back. BioVance's stock is still shaky, but I'm too busy sipping cocktails at my new Cape Cod summer home to care. Moral of the story? Never fire the person who built your empire, especially if they own the blueprints. Revenge is a dish best served with a side of legal paperwork. New CEO fired me, the scientist behind their best-selling drug, thinking he could cut costs. He forgot I owned the patent. I threatened to yank the license, tanked their stock, got $6 million, and got him sacked. Karma's got a piece.